Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from the beautiful city of Port Harcourt. Cold, slightly rainy afternoon in the beautiful city of Port Harcourt. How are you today? How is it where you are? Is it cold? Is it rainy? Is it hot? How is it? And good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you are joining me from this beautiful day. Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. Um, Let me do a sound check quickly. I always do a sound check just to be sure that I am not on my own and to be sure that the sound is loud enough for us to hear. Please, as you join me, even those that will that will watch the replay, all right. So yes, we're good. All right. So those that will join on the replay, please, just let me know who you are, where you are joining me from. Um, yes, this is Growth Habits with Ngozi, and I am your personal guide on the journey of growth. I remain your personal guide on this journey of growth. We started this journey about 2 years ago, and we are going strong. This is session 67, I believe. Yes, this is session 67. You can imagine we have done 67 sessions and we are going strong. We will celebrate our 100th session. Honestly, we will celebrate it because it is worth celebrating. It is something else. So, once again, I welcome you. If you're joining live, I welcome you. If you are watching the replay, it's such a privilege and such an honor to have you and to have you join me because, sometimes it seems as if, it's expected that you will join, but it really is not. I don't take it for granted that you join me every Tuesday right here on Facebook Live. We were supposed to have a guest today. We were supposed to conclude our series on Growth Chronicles today, but unfortunately, our guest could not join us. So we're just going to go on and start the series we're planning to start next week, and we'll just take it from there because this our guest was supposed to be with us last week, but network and a lot of things did not allow it to happen. And today again, she is not available. This one is not network; she's just not available to join us. So we are going to begin a new series today. Are you excited? Are you excited? I am. Because what we're going to be talking about a lot of things, actually. This whole series is going to be called Conversations. Yes, isn't that a beautiful topic? It's like a beautiful theme for the whole series, Conversations. And we'll be having conversations about a lot of different things. Different things. I don't want to, spoil the surprises for us. So we'll be having discussions, conversations about a lot of different things. Some will be as suggested by you. Yes. So I'm going to have a poll where you will tell me what you would want us to have conversations around or about. And we will schedule it and have those conversations. But to start off the series, we're going to have conversations about leadership or around, let me say around, because when you say about, it's like, kind of restricting, but around leadership. And the whole series of conversations around leadership will be called The Leading Edge. The Leading Edge. So we'll be talking about different aspects of leadership, different things that concern leadership. And as we go on in this particular part of this series, The Leading Edge, please, you have suggestions of something you want me to talk about leadership, go ahead and put it in the comments. You have a question you would want me to answer, go ahead and put it in the comments. Anything about leadership that you're interested in, you want to hear about, you want us to discuss, go ahead and put it in the comments, and we would attend to it sometime within this conversations on the leading edge. All right, so today I'm just going to do an introduction. Basically, I'm just going to introduce the topic and do a general walkthrough of what the leading edge is all about, what leadership is all about, because that is really what we are going to talk about, what leadership is all about. We're going to have conversations around leadership. Now, one thing that I have noticed is that many a times when we hear leadership, we think of bosses, we think of heads of corporations, we think of, managers and such people. And yes, they are leaders. They actually are leaders. But I also want us to understand that even you, that is not the CEO, that is not the manager, that is not the supervisor, you also can be a leader, and you can lead men, and you can lead people in anything, really. Even while you're being the employee, while you're under the recognized leader, who is the boss, or who is the manager, or who is the supervisor, or whatever, you can actually be the leader in that environment. So those are the things we will look at during these conversations on the leading edge. So what is it that will help us be a little bit ahead? What are the things that will help us stand out in the place of leadership? Those are the things we are going to be talking about in this series of conversations on the leading edge. So as I said, today is an introduction. So let me start out by discussing what exactly is leadership. There are many definitions of leadership. There are many ways that we can define what leadership is all about. But generally, it's just the act of guiding a team, guiding an individual, and you're guiding either that team or that individual to achieve a certain goal. And you do this by directing the individual or the team and by motivating that individual or that team. That is leadership. Being able to guide a team or an individual or a group of persons, being able to guide them to achieve a certain goal through direction, through motivation. That is what leadership is. And from this definition, we can see that leaders are people that encourage others. And in encouraging others, they encourage them to take actions. They encourage them to do things that they would need to get ahead, to do things they would need to succeed, to do things that they will, to gain some skills or something that they would need to get ahead in life. So with this definition, you can see that a leader does not necessarily have to be the boss, does not necessarily have to be the head of department, does not necessarily have to be the manager. I've seen people who are leaders from behind. That's the way we describe it. They are leading from behind because in the scheme of things, they are not in front. They are not the number one person. They are not the one that is put in charge, but they are the ones that are leading. They are the ones that are motivating people. They are the ones that are directing people. They are the ones that are, guiding people. They are the ones that are, helping people achieve their goals. They are the ones that are, helping people take actions that will help them to succeed. That is what leadership is all about. That is what makes a leader. Your ability to guide either a single person or a whole group of persons, to guide them, to help them to achieve a goal or some goals. All right, so that is a general definition of leadership. That is a general idea of what leadership is all about. And really, thank God that leadership skill is not something, it's not just what you're born with. You can learn it. You can learn and you can cultivate the skills that are necessary to be a good leader, that are necessary to be an effective leader. There are things you can learn. They are not just things. Some people are born with them, yes, but because you are not born with those skills does not mean you cannot lead. You can develop them. You can cultivate them. You can learn those skills. You can learn them, and then you can become, the leader that you are meant to be. I want to also look at now what are those qualities that makes, what are those qualities that makes for an effective leader? What are those qualities? There are many. There are quite a few skills. There are quite a few qualities that would make somebody an effective leader. But I'll just mention a few. Like I said, today is the introductory part. By next week and the following weeks, I will take different aspects of this and expand on them so that we can have a greater understanding, so that we can also have a greater understanding. I think that's the word I'm looking for, of what leadership is all about. Remember, this series is called Conversations. And we are starting off with the leading edge. That's conversations around leadership. All right. Kelechi, you may welcome. Glad to have you here with me. So we are talking about the qualities of a leader. Remember that I said that these things are learnable. They are things you can cultivate. They are things you can there are skills you can develop. They are not just what you are born with. Some people, yes, are born with these skills, but even if you are not, you can develop them. You can develop them. You can learn them. You can cultivate these skills. So what are these qualities of a good or an effective leader? Because, good or bad sometimes doesn't quite give the right, doesn't quite describe what we are talking about, but effectiveness. So what makes a leader effective? One, a leader has to be flexible. And I think this is one of the most, will I say, overlooked, I believe, overlooked qualities of an effective leader. Flexibility. Flexibility. For you to truly lead, you will encounter different kinds of people. You're not going to lead just one type of person. It doesn't happen. It's rare for you to just lead one type of person. You would always have a variety of persons that you're leading in most situations, because there are no two human beings that are the same. So even if it's just two people you are leading, the tendency that those two people will be completely different. They'll have different characteristics. They'll have different ways of behaving. They'll have different ways of reacting. There'll be differences in those two people. So as a leader, you need to be flexible. You need to be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? You need to be able to understand the people you are leading and then adjust. I think that is the word I'm looking for. You need to be able to understand the people that you are leading and then adjust. Flexibility. Flexibility is very key. Very key. Because see, you need that flexibility even not just in the people you are leading, but in the processes that you're walking through, in the activities, in the functions that you're walking through. You need to be flexible. You need to be able, the flexibility even has to be the type that you're able to think on your feet. You need to be able to, pivot at a given point in time. This is one of the things that makes someone an effective leader. You are able to pivot at, critical points. When there's a need to change, you change. Yeah, I was talking about the fact that you would encounter varieties of people. different kinds when you're leading. Even if it's just two persons you're leading, the tendency is that those two persons don't have the same characteristics. They don't think in the same way. They don't behave in the same way. So you need to be able as a leader to be flexible enough to adjust to those two different characteristics that are existing in your team. Let me take an example of a parent. This is a very good example of a leader, a parent, either a mother, a father, a parent. And you have two children. Those two children are definitely not the same. Definitely not. They have different characteristics. They have different ways of thinking. They have different ways they react. And what makes you effective is your ability to manage both without anyone feeling, anyhow. That is what makes you effective. So as a leader, you need that flexibility. You need it. You have to be able to pivot. You have to be able, even in the work that you do, aside from managing people, in the work that you do, one of the things you need to be able to do as a leader is to be able to pivot on the tasks that you have, on the assignment that is at hand. Let's take another example. You're leading, maybe in church, for example. Let's say you're leading in church, and suddenly there's a change in what is expected of you. What makes you a good and effective leader at that point is your ability to adapt to that new assignment. That is flexibility. Your ability to adapt to that new assignment, to that new dimension that's been introduced to the current assignment that you have. Wherever you are leading, remember, wherever you are leading, this applies. Both those leading from the front and those leading from behind. Remember that there are those that lead from the front and there are those that lead from behind. Those that lead from the front are like the managers, the CEOs, the heads of departments. They lead from the front because they're given that responsibility. Then there are those that lead from the behind, from the back, like the normal person that is supposed to be led, but they have the leadership qualities. They have the ability to guide people. Remember the definition of leadership I gave: the act of guiding a team or an individual to achieve a certain goal through directing and motivating them. So those that lead from behind are those that are able to do this, even though they have not been given the nomenclature. You're a member of staff. You are not the manager. You're not the supervisor, but you're able to guide your fellow staff. You're able to lead them. You're able to direct them. You're able to motivate them to do better. You're a leader. And flexibility is needed for sure. Flexibility is needed because you're dealing with different kinds of people and you're dealing with, various tasks, various processes, various functions, and you need to be able to pivot when the need arises. You need to be able to, change when the need arises. This is what makes you, just give me a minute. Okay. So sorry. Okay. Yeah, the phone was making a noise. I had to stop the notifications from coming in. All right. So that gives you the flexibility, and that is what makes you an effective leader. That is what makes you an effective leader. You are able to pivot when you need, and also guide your team to be able to pivot when it's necessary. All right. So that is one of the qualities of an effective leader. Like I said, I don't want to be saying good or bad leader, but effectiveness is more important. Another quality of an effective leader is empathy. See, this empathy is an aspect of emotional intelligence, and I find a lot of people don't have it. We think we do, but we actually don't. We're not empathetic. We don't have empathy. We don't put ourselves in other people's shoes. That is what empathy means. Your ability to put yourself in another person's shoes. Your ability to feel what someone else is feeling. Your ability to understand what is happening in the life of that person, in his surroundings. Your ability to put yourself in that person's shoes. It's not sympathy. Sympathy ends with just feeling, oh, child, this person is hurt, or hey, this person is really stress is too much around them. Hey, yeah, that is sympathy. Empathy is being able to understand that yes, this person is going through a lot right now, and because they are going through this is what is happening. This is how I can help. Put yourself in the shoes of those you lead. Many of our leaders, our bosses, our managers, our CEOs, whatever name, they're not empathetic. They truly are not. I have experienced many of them. They are not empathetic. They can't understand that, for example, you're a young girl, newly married, that you need to, take care of some house duties. They don't. Or you just had a baby and, there are some things that come with that. They don't understand it. Or as a man, there are situations that surround you currently that are far above and beyond just work. They don't understand it. But to be an effective leader, you must be empathetic. You need to be able to understand the people around you, the people that you are leading. You have to be able to develop true relationships with the people you are leading. You need to be able to truly, honestly put yourself in their shoes. It might be difficult sometimes, maybe because you have passed that level, like we used to say. You are no longer at the level there, but you were there sometime. You were there. And when you were there, how did it feel? Allow yourself to feel what they feel. There are some decisions we will not take as leaders if we are empathetic, if we allow ourselves to wear the shoes that those we are leading are wearing. There are some decisions we would not take. There are some things we definitely will not do. Make yourself available to listen to those you are leading. Listen to their challenges. Listen to their accomplishments. Listen to the things that are around them. Don't just hear it. Don't just hear the complaint that your staff or whoever you're leading is bringing about. Listen to it. Truly listen to it and hear what they are trying to say. Hear what they are trying to pass across to you. That is empathy. When you are able to be empathetic, when you're able to put yourself in the shoes of those that you lead, it actually helps you be more productive as a team. It helps you be more productive as a unit. So, empathy. You can walk more swiftly towards a goal with people that you understand their pain points, with people that you understand what is making them tick, with people that you understand what is causing, their challenges, what is behind the challenges that they're experiencing. You will work better as a team. So make sure that you're an empathetic leader, because that is one of the qualities that will make you effective as a leader. So we've talked about flexibility and we've talked about empathy. Jude Ogwa, welcome. I'm glad you're joining us this afternoon. Please do let me know where you're joining me from. Let me know where you're joining me from. Another quality that makes for an effective leader is decisiveness, your ability to take decisions. This one seems like, in English, they call it tautology. You're saying the same thing. I mean, it's like, of course, a leader takes decisions. You understand? But no, it's not every leader that's decisive. We're not talking about taking decisions. Everybody takes decisions. But do you take them as and when necessary? Do you take those decisions in a timely manner? Do you take those decisions in a timely manner? Or do you dilly-dally over the decisions and then finally, sluggishly, you take the decision? That is not leadership. That does not give you the leading edge. It doesn't. So decisiveness, you might, you will be confronted with some challenging decisions. That is a given. You will be confronted with some hard decisions, given, but you need to be decisive. You need to take the decisions in a timely manner. You need to be able to, most times it requires you to actually think on your feet, because you need to be able to analyze the whole situation quickly and take a decision. Okay. And one thing that helps you do this is your ability to learn from past experiences, your ability to take lessons and notes from past experiences. So when you do that, when you have written down or, notes or learnings from past experiences, when you confront such things again, you can decide quickly. You can make quicker decisions. You can make timely decisions. So ensure that as a leader, you are decisive. And one thing that will help you in that is the ability to learn from past experiences and past decisions, the ability to take down notes, learnings from these experiences. That will help you. Of course, there are some tools that help us to take decisions, SWOT analysis and such things. But the point here is being quick and timely in taking those decisions. This is one of the things that will give you the leading edge wherever you are. Wherever you are. Chibuchi Diade, welcome. Welcome. I'm glad you joined me this afternoon. Please let me know where you are joining me from. All right. So the next thing, is it characteristics? I called it. The next quality of an effective leader. Remember, we are talking today. This series, let me just do a quick recap. It's called Conversations. We just started a new series called Conversations, and this first aspect of it is the leading edge. So we're having conversations around the leading edge, developing that leading edge, being that leader that is effective, being that leader that is, sharp, and we are looking right now at the qualities of that effective leader. The first thing we mentioned was flexibility, being able to be nimble on your feet, your ability to move, to change, to pivot when necessary. The next thing we talked about was empathy, your ability to put yourself in the shoes of those that you are leading, to understand what is happening around them. Yeah. So, okay, yes, we also talked about decisiveness. I think that was the last thing I talked about, decisiveness, your ability to take decisions in a timely manner. It's not just your ability to take decisions, because everybody takes decisions, whether you're a leader or not. So it is a given that a leader will take decisions, but your ability to take those decisions in a timely manner, because you have taken down learnings from past experiences, from past decisions. You have taken down lessons from those things, and you are able to apply them quickly in the current situation so that you take timely decisions. And right ones, of course. If the decisions are not right, then the timeliness doesn't really matter for per se. Okay, so the next quality of an effective leader is communication. Communication. Being able to, it's not just to talk. It's not just to talk. Communication is not just about speaking to people. It's not just about passing across information to people. Yes, it is that, being effective in passing across information, but the ability to pass across that information in a way that the people will understand. There are some people that the simplest processes, the simplest thing, they can't explain it to you. I always tell people that how you know that you understand a subject, how you know that you understand something, whatever it may be, a process, a system, is if you are able to describe that subject, that process, that system to a 3-year-old or to a nursery school student, and they can understand it from what you explained. Once you are able to explain anything, no matter what it is, to a nursery school student, nursery school student, once they're able to do that and they can understand you without you having to repeat over and over, you have mastered that subject. So, one of the qualities of an effective leader is your ability to communicate. Your ability to pass across information in a way that everyone can understand it. In a way, in a simple manner, with little interference. People understand what you're saying. People grab what you're saying. Communication, one of the very, very, very important qualities of a leader. Communication. Princess Franny, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We're talking about, yes, communication. We are talking about, where this series is called Conversations, and this aspect of it, will I call it the subtopic, yes, is conversations on the leading edge. And we're looking at leadership. What is it? What are the qualities of a leader? Remember that from the beginning, I said that a leader is not just the boss, the manager, the CEO, all those people, supervisor. It's not just those people that lead from the front due to, the job or whatever. It's not just those ones. Head of departments, they're leaders, but it's not just them. They are those that lead from behind. They are those that are amongst the ones being led, but they are able to, encourage, they are able to guide others and lead them to achieve goals, to achieve successes. So don't count yourself out and say, well, I'm not the boss. Well, I'm not the head of department. Well, I'm not the manager. No, you can still be a leader. Even in the midst of your group, you can lead from behind. Okay, so once you are able to develop these qualities in you, leadership qualities, leadership skills are learnable. You can learn them. They are not just born, what you're born with. You can learn them. All right. So communication is what we are talking about now. And part of communication is active listening. Is a part of communication. So you see, communication is not just saying and getting across your point to the people. It's also being able to listen actively to what is being said and understand what is being said. It's being able to not just hear what people are saying to you, but understand what people are saying to you. So you see that communication is like in two parts: what you say and then what you do with what is said to you. All right. So communication is key. When you communicate effectively in a team, you will find that there's less conflict in that team and there's more productivity. You don't waste time, settling quarrels, because everybody understands what needs to be done. Everybody understands how it's going to be done. Everybody understands, the time that is needed to get this thing done. And you, as the one leading everybody, you understand the situations that are surrounding the people. You understand their emotions. You understand what is happening with them per time. So definitely, conflict will reduce. Conflict can never disappear, but it will be reduced. And productivity will surely increase. Communication. Communication. Being able to speak and explain things as clearly as possible. Remember my my test of good communication is that you can explain things to a nursery student, 2-year-old, 3-year-olds, and they understand. Even if it's a very complex thing, very complex subject, you are able to explain it to that nursery student and they understand it. Then you have communicated. Because if you can explain it to that child, you can explain it to an adult, and an adult will understand for sure. If a child can understand you, the description or your explanation of that subject, of that process, of that thing, and then an adult definitely will understand you. So always strive to make your communication simple enough for a child to understand. Yet, even as it's simple, yet it carries the full message that you're trying to pass across. There is no aspect of the message that is left behind. There is no aspect of what you're saying that you left out because you're trying to explain it to a child. No, you were able to explain the full process, the full subject, the full topic to a child and they understood it. Explaining it to an adult is easy. Easy pickings after you're able to get a child to understand it. So that is something that has always helped me. If I'm writing a memo, like in the office, I'm writing a memo. After writing my memo, in my head, this is how I process my own. I read back my memo in my head and I ask myself, if I read this memo to a child, would they know what I'm saying? If the answer is no, I restructure immediately. But if the answer is yes, then I know that my job is done. So ensure that your communications are clear and it's as easy to understand as possible. All right. So those are the basic qualities. I didn't want to, say everything, but those are the basic qualities. If you can practice and perfect these ones, every other thing will align as a leader. Okay. So what do you now do? I'm just looking at time because today I said it's an introductory one. We're just going to do an introduction of leadership. What is it all about? So what do I now do to become a good leader? We've heard the qualities. What should I do? What should I do so that I would be a good leader? Number one is to find, I don't want to say a coach. I don't even want to say a mentor, but I guess it's a mentor you should find. Find someone that is a good leader. Find someone that possesses those leadership qualities and follow them. Follow them. You're not just going to follow them like from behind or from afar. Follow them. Let them guide you. Let them teach you. Let them help you. Find someone that possesses those leadership qualities you're trying to imbibe, someone that you can see has a good track record of leadership, and let them teach you. See, this aspect of being teachable, being teachable is key for just about everything in life. If you are not teachable, you will miss out on a lot. If you are not teachable, you will miss out on a lot. So find a mentor that will teach you and follow the mentor up. Don't just say I have a mentor and you're not really, drinking from the. Follow up and learn from that person. Mentorship can be of different types, truly, but just get someone um, that you can follow, someone that you can shadow, someone that is ready to help you improve, that is ready to help you achieve. Find that person and follow them. Okay. The next thing you should do, this one, do I even call it research? Um, find out about leadership. I don't know whether we're calling it research is really the word I want to use, but find out what it means to be a leader. Truly take your time, learn about it, take your time, study it, take your time, Google if you have to, do the YouTube, whatever, but take your time and learn what it means to be a leader. Understand it for yourself. Now, why this is important is that there are many definitions of leadership out there. There are many ways that people describe leadership. There are many leaders out there. But if you have not understood it for yourself, you will not be able to apply those things yourself. It's not enough that John Maxwell said everything rises and falls on leadership. For you, what does that mean? That's why I said research. For you, what does it mean that everything rises and falls on leadership? What does it mean? Or, okay, I've told you that to be an effective leader, you need to be empathetic. What does that mean to you? It's not enough that I said it. It's not enough that professionals said it. It's not enough that research has shown this. It's not enough. What does it mean to you? And you can only discover what it means to you by searching it out yourself, studying it yourself. Because empathy to me might actually be different than empathy for you. I might already be a very empathetic person. So to develop just a little extra or a little more empathy might not take much from me. But what of you? Though to be an active listener, what does it mean to you? So research, find out. Don't just take our word for it. We that are supposed to know. Don't just take our words for it. No, do your own research and find out what this means for you. Now, I gave that example of everything rises and falls on leadership. We've all heard it and we've all quoted it one place or the other, one way or the other. We may even have used it to speak somewhere. But what does it mean to you that everything rises and falls on leadership? Okay, so to become a good leader, truly do that research yourself. Search it out. Discover what it means to you. And then practice. Practice leading. It looks like this is, of course, how else, but practice leading. Oh, coach, if you welcome, I'm glad you joined. Oh, we have a session this afternoon, right? Wonderful. I even forgot. Yes, I have a session with Coach Ify this afternoon by 3, right? So I didn't even advertise it. Just don't mind me. Okay. So please, in fact, after this, I'll put up the flyer after this session so that we can join that session also. I was talking about what we need to do to become good, effective leaders. I said get a mentor. I said do the research, do the work, and then practice leading. I mean, sometimes when I say practice, you might want to ask, how am I going to practice when nobody has given me the opportunity? See, now this is where leading from behind comes in. This is where it comes in. Your ability to be in a team and still lead from within that team. That is where you get to practice. That is where you get to practice leadership. You're in a team already. You are not the one leading that team, but you can still practice the leadership, qualities while in that team. You can lead that team from behind. You can be the force that, propels that team to greatness. Yes, and for those ones, you might not even get the credit. It's possible that you won't get the credit for it, but you're not looking for the credit now. You're looking to practice leadership so that it becomes a part of you. By the time the main one, in quotes, now comes, the one that you're leading from the front comes, you have practiced it. You have developed all those qualities. It becomes almost natural to you. So practice leadership. Practice wherever you find yourself. Practice leading in the midst of that group that you find yourself. Practice. Of course, take some trainings, do some trainings. Don't just say, okay, they said, take some courses. Take some courses. It helps. Take some courses. There are so many online platforms now that are even free for you to take courses. Take some leadership courses. It helps. It helps. There is no knowledge that is lost. There is no knowledge that is lost. So take some courses. Then I think, will I say most important? This is very important. This next thing I want to say, ask for feedback. Ask people to tell you how you're doing as a leader. Ask for feedback. I remember I've shared how I asked one of my bosses to assess me as a person. Now, this was not as a leader. This was just as a person. I wanted to know how others see me. I know who I am. I understand myself. I needed to know what I give off. So I asked one of my bosses then to assess me, and I told him to be brutally honest. Don't worry about my feelings. Truly, just tell me. And he did. And I took to heart the things he said, not in a bad way. Because I had already made up my mind that anything he says, I will not take it, the negative way. I will not get upset. I will not get angry. I will not begin to, no. So whatever he wrote down in that assessment, I took it to heart and I began to work on myself based on those things that he said. So ask for feedback. Ask for feedback. It is so important. So essential. It helps you so much. Ask for feedback. People say ask for constructive feedback. Yes, the feedback should be constructive because it's meant to help you improve. But prepare yourself as you're asking for this feedback. Prepare yourself not to take anything that is said personally. If I had taken the things my boss told me then personally, I wouldn't have improved. I wouldn't have worked on myself in any way. I would have just relaxed and been like, this man is just, trying to bring me down. That is what we say these days. Once someone criticizes us, we see it as village people, things like that. No. Ask for feedback and be prepared to apply the things that you will be told. Also, ensure that the person you're even asking for feedback from is someone that can give you the real thing, that will tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay, so ask for feedback. It helps. It helps. It helps. It helps a lot. All right, so today we started our new series called Conversations. And we decided to start the conversations on and around the leading edge. Today we just did a simple introduction, a quick summary of what leadership is all about, the qualities of a good leader, and what you need to do to become that effective. I keep going back to this good. I have to keep reminding myself that the word I want to use is effective, not good. So to become an effective leader. Our definition of leadership, let me repeat it so that it will help us. I said that leadership is the act of guiding a team, a person, a group of persons to achieve a certain goal. And you do this through guiding, through motivating the person or persons. With this definition, we see that leadership is not just endowed upon those that are given titles or given positions. It can be, anybody can, be a leader. Anybody can practice leadership. Anybody. All right. And we said that leadership skills they're learnable, they're developable, they're cultivatable. So don't just say, oh, I'm not born with them. I don't have those skills. I don't have those qualities, and you leave it. No, you can learn them. You can cultivate them. You can develop them. We mentioned the qualities of an effective leader, and we said that that is flexibility. We mentioned empathy. We mentioned communication. We mentioned decisiveness. And okay, I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it. That was it. So flexibility, decisiveness, empathy, communication. These are some of the things that we said are needed to be an effective leader. Flexibility, empathy, decisiveness, communication. All right, then to become a good leader, find a mentor, do the research, find out for yourself what that means and how you can do it. Practice, 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 take courses, and ask for feedback. So that is a general overview and summary of what we have discussed today. To next week, we will take it a little bit further. We'll take some of those leadership qualities that I mentioned, and we will develop them further. But I think next week we'll talk about leadership styles. We'll talk about leadership styles next week. Then we can go on to looking at communication and all those things and what they entail. Okay, so thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. It's been an interesting time of having a conversation around the topic of leadership. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all of them. Growth Habits with Ngozi. Follow us everywhere. Everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Follow us everywhere. And also, yes, I mentioned last time that for the month of June, I'm doing three things actually for the month of June. One is that my one-on-one clarity sessions for the month of June, 1 hour free. 1 hour free. I put up the calendar notification under our last live session. I will put it up again. Click on it, pick a date, pick a time, 1 hour free. And I will listen to you first of all and hear what you have to say. Then I will guide, because that is why I'm here, your personal guide on the journey of growth. So I will guide you through the things that you want to achieve, the things that you have put, in your goals that you want to achieve for this year. That's one. Two, this one is actually the month of July. We'll have a 3-month mentorship program. 3 months, quickly discuss 1 or 2 things about growth, and that will be it. Then I started the series on affirmations. Every morning I will release one affirmation for the day. And you see, these things help us, because when you say these things to yourself, remember, your brain begins to develop the connections, the neural connections to bring those things to pass. That is why when you decide you want to buy a red car, or even when you have bought a red car, but initially when you decide, I want to buy a red car, everywhere you go, you begin to see red cars. Has it happened to you? I'm sure. Your brain began to develop the neural connections that will bring to pass that thing that you decided you want. So That is the beauty of affirmation. So every day for the month of June, I will be releasing one affirmation. We have done two already. They are all up on our Facebook page. They are up on Instagram. They are up on TikTok. They are up on our YouTube channel. So just go to any of those places and you'll be able to see those affirmations. I'm also writing a book on affirmations, but these are specifically growth affirmations. The ones that I'm releasing every day are scripture based only. But the one in the book are not scripture based only. They are specific to growth. And some of them are taken from the scriptures, but the emphasis is on growth. Once that book is out, I will also let us know. Have you bought the book that I've already released, our journal, our Unleash Your Best Self? Oh, it's very far from me right now, but I brought one to show us. I'll Unleash Your Best Self journal and I'll Unleash Your Best Self book that goes with the journal. Please go on Amazon, is there. Go on Seller. I'll put those links also so that we will be able to get those books. All right. Thank you once again for joining me this afternoon. I hope you have been able to grab something from all that I have said. I hope you've been able to learn something. Tell me in the comment section anything that stood out to you, whatever you learned today, or you've always known, but somehow it just made more sense today. Please let me know in the comment sections. I always enjoy reading from each and every one of us when we comment on things that we have discussed here. If you're part of the Growth Habits Facebook group, please go on the group and also mention what you have learned. Because after this live session in the next 1 or 2 hours, there'll be a post on the group. They're asking you to share what you have learned. So please go ahead and share what you have learned from the live session today. Also, remember to make today and every day count. Ensure you do this. Make today and every single day of your life count. Be valuable wherever you are and ensure that you are growing. Don't ever remain stagnant. Thank you so much once again for joining me. See you next week, Tuesday, when we continue this conversation on the leading edge. Bye for now.